Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is said to include many different pieces of both Jedi and Sith lore, as well as prequel trilogy and original trilogy continuity, that will also make its way into Episode 9 by also using Star Wars Legends as inspirational material to tell the story by director J.J. Abrams. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. So, one interesting aspect of Episode 9 is, of course, the Jedi and Sith lore that is really going to be used in a sense in order to benefit the characters of Rey and Kylo Ren in Episode 9. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very intense for the character of Darth Plagueis himself. Now, specifically, what's really exciting about all of this is that a description of Rey inside of the Lost City, where it's described that she is making her way through the Land of the Forbidden, a place full of Sith ruins and statues. It's described that eventually Rey pauses and takes a break, where she is said to sit on a stone bench and go through her backpack, which is full of Luke's relics from Ahch-To that she took from that world, one of which is the authentic manuscript of Darth Plagueis. It's described that Rey begins to go through the pages where in the manuscript of Plagueis, it's revealed that just like the netherworld of the Force for light side-oriented individuals, is that there is another realm that for Force-sensitive individuals associated with the dark side holds life after death of the Sith that are successful in learning the key. It's described to be in the manuscript of Plagueis and that he learned about this realm that is said to be a spiritual realm catered to the dark side of the Force, and that in this bit in his manuscript foreshadows the story and reveal of Palpatine's return in the form of a spirit. It's said that at one point in time in the past, Plagueis had tapped into the Dark Realm that held ancient Sith spirits and kept the knowledge away from Palpatine, as Plagueis wanted to prevent the possibility of the spirits entering the mortal world. Now, what's really interesting about Episode 9 is that we do know that Episode 9 is really going to be a movie that's really going to use a lot of this material, you know, ranging from spirits and taking over bodies and basically mixing Star Wars with The Exorcist. And I'm not quite sure how fans will really react to that. We do know that's going to be one of the major points of Palpatine's return in Episode 9. Now, the thing that I do want to go over is, of course, everything related to Darth Plagueis. Now, we do know that Darth Plagueis is a very important figure in the prequel trilogy in some way, shape, or form. It was the term, alright, or was the actual name Plagueis that literally changed Anakin Skywalker to turn to the dark side. It was basically the foundation of Palpatine's manipulation technique, right? In order to make Anakin believe that he could actually save ones from death. So if you really do think about it, the character of Darth Plagueis technically and indirectly turned Anakin to the dark side of the Force. But looking at Episode 9 now, the fact that they are trying to explain more about the character of Plagueis, since he is a real character, he's loosely explained in the current canon material, we still don't know exactly what species Plagueis really is in canon. In Legends, though, he is a Mun, so that's one thing to point out there. So, the manuscript that Rey comes across on Luke Skywalker's island of Ahch-To inside of his hut that she actually took during the events of The Last Jedi, she takes with her in her backpack into the Lost City roughly 1 year later during the events of The Rise of Skywalker, and goes to the pages, and that's where she comes across the discovery of this ancient Sith, or just this Sith Lord known as Plagueis, I should say, that comes across this other realm. Like the netherworld of the Force that contains many of the popular Force ghosts like Anakin, Obi-Wan, Luke, Qui-Gon, you name it, now we have yet another realm that holds the key to life after death for Sith Lords, as well as ancient Sith, that Plagueis actually was able to tap into and learn more about. However, it's described that Plagueis kept this knowledge away from anybody in fear of the spirits getting loose and entering into the mortal world, basically being able to do whatever they want and posing themselves as a threat against Plagueis. So what I like about this, though, is that this is J.J. Abrams really trying to tie the prequels, the originals, and the sequels together all into one big epic movie that's going to drop later this year. And what I'm really skeptical about the whole entire idea of there being two realms is that basically means that almost any Sith that dies can really live on forever in the form of a spirit or whatever have you. Now, like I said, there's always a possibility that we do know that Plagueis could very well have lived on in Episode 9. For all we know, he's not dead. but I think it's pretty safe to say that this character is long dead and that it follows the strict rules that, you know, Palpatine killed him in his sleep and stuff like that. However, what's really intriguing to me though is that the Sith actually have to learn the key, just like the regular light side oriented individuals. They have to learn the key to live on forever. In case you guys did not know this, Darth Vader, just before he died, right, in Return of the Jedi, it was Obi-Wan Kenobi who guided him to becoming a Force ghost as he was dying and basically transferring over into the Netherworld. Now, this is all explained in many of the different books under Disney and stuff like that. So, with that being said, guys, let me know what you think about all of this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.